Scouting is probably one of the few organizations today that takes a young person out of their comfort zone and puts them in a situation where they'll be challenged to really do something that they never thought they could do. That was my experience, that was my son's experience. Whether that would be a patrol leader or all the way up to senior patrol leader to camp staff. Those are experiences that are they're fun, but they're going to take you out of your comfort zone. And it's something you'll never get in a school necessarily or sitting in front of a computer, but you'll get them in a scout unit for sure.
One of the key ways that scouting teaches leadership to young men is the patrol method, where it puts the boys in charge and leaves them on their own and allows them to fail sometimes. But when you're made a patrol leader or a senior patrol leader, if you have a good scoutmaster, he's going to let you learn leadership on your own. And you're going to stumble a little bit and you're going to have problems, but you're going to learn how to lead boys in situations where it's very challenging.
The organization is one of the most outstanding, I think, in the world at involving kids at very early stages of development that give them the opportunity to have leadership. So seldom do kids really get isolated to where they have to lead their peers. That's such an unusual event in today's world, where with a minimal amount of training, you're asked to organize and to lead a group of your peers. It just doesn't happen very effectively in the world. Inside of scouting, it happens so beautifully and so naturally.
I came from a low-income home. My parents were divorced. In that time period when I was age 12 to 14, I was very much on the fence in terms of the direction of my life. I mean, it would have been so easy to have ended up in a direction where I would have ended up in jail. I can say without a doubt that scouting is what helped me set the goals on the right side of the fence, to where I went in the right direction. And it's just a little change in direction like that sometimes that can be the difference over many years of a boy becoming a criminal versus a boy becoming a community leader and a successful businessman, and so forth. I mean, it's just little decisions like that when they're young. And the advancement program can instill the faith in a boy that he can achieve good things like that can set the right direction.
There are a lot of things that I do every day, routine things out of my job, that I find myself saying, I learned that in Scouts, or I did that when I was 14-year-old at a summer camp, or I did it at a camp staff program we put on. And I go back to those days, and it seems kind of odd that you'd go all the way back to your teens and to say, I learned how to do that there, but I got to do it. And I learned the theory later. I mean, I went to management schools and to leadership schools, and all I learned was the words to use for what I did when I was a kid.
It's interesting, from my own personal scouting experiences, I can remember seeing some very unlikely kids that became patrol leaders and senior patrol leaders, and if you would have put them in an environment and said, you're going to lead this group of 15 kids, it just would never have happened effectively on the school ground or in some other setting. But in scouting, that the organization structure and the fundamental sequential leadership learning that occurs there enables kids that really had maybe no natural leadership ability to truly learn how to do it. And I think leadership is a learned skill, and we demonstrate that in scouting.
I'm thinking about every Eagle Scout project that's been done over the many years that I've been associated with it, and place after place, community after community. All you have to do is go down the Springwater corridor, and half the corridor has been upgraded because the Boy Scouts were there with their Eagle Scout projects. And those youth learn something that they will never forget and will be doing for the rest of their life.
I just really am grateful that the leaders sort of influenced me and that I made that decision to choose things like honesty, the virtues of the Scout Law. Repeating those at each meeting and seeing the Scoutmaster and the other leaders that set the example really lived up to those values in the Scout Law caused me to choose, again, very consciously, to say, I'm going to really try and live the Scout Law. This is this is the kind of person I want to be. I'm going to be honest even when nobody's looking.
One of the things I learned long ago in marketing is to find some kind of tag that kind of pulls it all together. And the Scouting within Law is one of those kinds of simple tags that pulls a lot of important principles together, and you can remember them. And it's something that you can just, you start with, trustworthy, and the rest of them just flow
A Scout
naturally.
is trustworthy, loyal, helpful, friendly.
A Scout is trustworthy, loyal, helpful,
friendly, courteous, kind, obedient,
Helpful,
cheerful.
friendly, courteous, kind.
Obedient, cheerful, thrifty, brave, clean, and reverent.
If there's one message I could send out to all the Scouts and to their families, it would be, you are part of an organization that is truly unique and important to this community and to yourself. Use every minute you've got with it to the fullest. Not only would you hopefully become an Eagle Scout, you'll become somebody that you never thought you could be.